Hey guys, my name is Sanjay. Welcome to the Engineer Wannabe YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a fairly quick video. I'm going to try and keep it as minimally edited as possible just to make sure I can get it out to you guys. Time has been very scarce. Time has been very scarce. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. So trying not to have too many pauses or cutoffs or anything like that. So quick wristwatch check on my wrist today is a very special piece to me. This is a Ulysse Nardin vintage one that was gifted to me on a Hirsch James, I believe is what the strap is. It's kind of a warm day, so going with that one. And the video we're doing today is a comparison of divers that are supposedly good for smaller wrists. There are many options out there right now, so there's quite a few neglected here. I think the Super Ocean 36 could be added here. The Legend Diver 36 is also a very good option. But here today we have something on the higher end of the scale, I think. This is the Omega Planet Ocean 39.5. And a Black Bay 58. This happens to be the bronze version, and a Black Bay 54. So I'm gonna try and make this useful to people who don't quite know me as well as have like a section of personal conflict, let's say, what I'm going through when looking at these pieces, because these are my personal pieces. I don't think I'll be keeping all of them, so I'm trying to rationalize, figure out what I should get rid of. So that would be like the personal aspect of things, but let's get into it. Let's talk about dimensions. The one that's familiar with many people is the Black Bay 58. This has been around for some time now. This is the bronze version with the T-fit clasp. The T-fit clasp was a game changer for someone with a small wrist, I think. For me personally, with the bigger Black Bay 58, the issue was the large clasp, not the watch head itself, but the large clasp. So it was a concern. I mean, the watch head was a bit long, lug to lug as well. My wrist, just for reference, is 16 centimeters in circumference. So the older Black Bays, the black and the blue, they had clasps that were effectively around 52 millimeters in length, because they had a non-articulating link in the back end or the top end of the clasp and a really long swing arm. The T-fit clasps fixed that issue. So as you can see, there's no kicking out of the clasp here. That is very unsightly day to day when you're going about your business. You look down to check your time and you see this part sticking out like a sore thumb. It's pretty ugly. Might be a weird watch enthusiast thing there. So the Black Bay 58, talk about the dimensions. This is 39 millimeters in diameter. It is a little under 12 millimeters thick. Lug to lug is 47.5, and lug width is 20. Now its new younger brother is the Black Bay 54, and this is interesting as well. Let me hold it side to side so you can get a good look at it. Dead on, I think you can see that there's a size difference. So I mean, the fact that this is not on its integrated rubber strap, I think that would add a bit of visual mass to it, or the bracelet would have added some visual mass. I don't know if I just invented that phrase, but some heft to the look of the watch at least. But I prefer this on the sailcloth strap. I think it's a dream to wear on this sailcloth. I am not very fond of this rubber strap. It's okay. It's fine, but it's not great. The bracelet, well, I don't know. I probably could have gone for the bracelet. I went for the rubber strap because I kind of had the feeling I would be wearing this on a sailcloth or leather straps going forward. But here it is on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's pretty good, but it can have the appearance of looking too big still. because of, let's talk about these dimensions real quick. The lug-to-lug dimension is interesting. So it is around 46. Doesn't sound too bad. Doesn't sound bad at all, actually. But well, let's do the rest of the dimensions. It's 37 millimeter diameter watch. It is 11.5 millimeters thick. Lug width is 20. So I think the lug width, which is 20, same as the Black Bay 58, adds some. It makes it wear a bit larger, and the fact that the curvature of the lugs is almost, or the curvature of the watch profile is almost non-existent. Now side by side here, let's see if I can get a pardon the background noise. The kids are having a bit of a blast, but you can see that the thickness, even though it's only about a millimeter thinner, it makes a significant difference. I think there's a lot to do with how the case is broken up into pieces, broken up into sections. But as you can see, the thickness, not just the thickness, but the lug-to-lug, the Black Bay 54 is a much flatter, much straighter profile. The Black Bay 58 actually curves down. So in practicality, at least on a 16 centimeter wrist, I know this changes. If you have a big wrist, the Black Bay 54, from my friends who I've heard them talk about it, the Black Bay 54 wears a lot smaller, and they have a larger wrist than I do. A lot smaller than the Black Bay 58. But to me, they wear very similar because of the shape of the case profile. It's a lot flatter, and I'm sure you saw that on camera. I wish I had more time to edit videos so I could just cut in a side-by-side comparison here, but you can see this here on my 16 centimeter wrist, Black Bay 54, and I'm going to throw on the Black Bay 58 very quickly, and I'm sure you'll see that there is a similarity in terms of just the span of the watch on my wrist. This is thicker, it has more presence, and it is a brighter watch in general, but it's interesting that the Black Bay 54, for a smaller wrist, I have to keep adding that disclaimer, for the smaller wrist actually does wear a bit large. And the only reason I'm adding that disclaimer is because a lot of my friends with larger wrists say this wears really small. And I honestly can't, I can't come to that conclusion. It doesn't wear small. It doesn't wear like a 37 millimeter watch. To me, this wears maybe like a 38, maybe something ever so slightly smaller than the Black Bay 58. And again, that's in the context of a 16 centimeter wrist. Now, I have said in the past that the best watch for a smaller, best dive watch for a smaller wrist is this Planet Ocean. This is the 39.5 millimeter version. It has its quirks and issues. So 39.5 millimeter Planet Ocean, let me get it going here, is a bit big, so it's a bit squat as well. The lug-to-lug is very manageable. So with the Planet Ocean, the lug-to-lug is 45 millimeters. It is 14 millimeters thick. You can see it is pretty hefty, and that is to house that 600 meter water resistance or depth rating, and 39.5 millimeter diameter, as I had mentioned earlier, and 19 millimeter lug width. So a few cons, of course, but it is, as I had said, a squatter watch, or a bit more compressed looking watch. Let me fix my angle here so you can see it better. So a bit more of a manageable watch on my 16 centimeter wrist, and it feels like there's clearance on either side of my wrist. It hugs my wrist really well. The center of gravity is really low. It is a heavier watch as well, on the 160s. If I'm not mistaken, it's been some time since I weighed it, so don't quote me on that, but my if my memory serves me well, it was around 160 on this bracelet. So I still think this is the best, or the upper limit, maybe at least in my limited experience, for a smaller dive watch that fits a smaller wrist. The Black Bay 54, while it is excellent and a very capable watch, a very stylish, very beautiful watch, I think it's still in a weird way catered to a larger wrist, because it didn't go with that the case profile, like the angled, ever so slightly angled case profile of the Black Bay 58. I think if they just shrank the Black Bay 58 by a couple of millimeters and kept the same profile proportions, this would have dethroned the Omega Planet Ocean as the best dive watch money can buy for a smaller wrist. But the Omega, though quite a bit more expensive than the Black Bay 58 or the Black Bay 54, I think still holds that throne. Now, this is all very subjective. It depends on how sensitive you are to thickness, watch thickness, and weight. If you are not too bothered by thickness or weight, I think the Planet Ocean is the victor. If not, if you are bothered by weight, it gets a bit more confusing, a bit more hairy. I almost prefer the wearing experience of the Black Bay 58 here, specifically the bronze Black Bay 58 with the improved clasp, and I haven't tried the bronze Black Bay 58 on a strap yet, so I can't confirm how great it will be on strap. The Black Bay 54 still is no slouch, as I had mentioned before. It is very close between the Black Bay 58 bronze and the Black Bay 54. I think it wears different. It's got a more you can see there is still, like, I have a 16 centimeter wrist. You can see still there's like an air gap here. It's not the most beautiful. I mean, it's fine. It looks good day to day when you're wearing your watch, going about your business. Not going to come into play. But when you do take a closer look at the watch on your wrist, you do see, hey, this is really straight. It's kind of a compromise when you have a smaller wrist, right? If this followed that Black Bay 58, I'm going to switch to Black Bay 58 really quick here. If it followed the Black Bay 58's curvature, case curvature, look at that. I mean, there's still an air gap. So, but if it followed this curvature and came in these dimensions with this curvature, it would have been absolutely perfect. But they went straighter, and undoubtedly it's to appeal to the majority of the market. So I can't blame Tudor for this, because most people don't have a tiny wrist. Most men, at least, they have a average size wrist, which this would be perfect for. And so with this, but the fact remains, I think overall the Planet Ocean does take the crown still. Again, in my opinion, the Planet Ocean takes the crown for the best dive watch for a smaller wrist, followed by the Legend Diver, I think. The Legend Diver 36. The Legend Diver 36 has the opposite effect. It wears larger because it is all dial, and it has the internal rotating bezel. So you have a much bigger surface area for the watch, for the sapphire crystal, and it just presents itself as a larger watch. So I think the Legend Diver 36 is something that shouldn't be slept on. Planet Ocean shouldn't be something that's slept on. And if you really like the Black Bay 58, Black Bay 54, I think they are excellent choices as well. If you have something as slightly larger than my wrist, 16.5 centimeters, maybe 16 centimeters, but flatter. I have a bit more of a rounder wrist. It's not as oval as it could be. My friend Dib, he has a more oval wrist with the same wrist measurement, and he can pull these watches off much better than I can. So what I'm saying is, if you have a 16.5 centimeter wrist, circumference wrist, or a flatter, more oval shaped wrist, I think the Black Bay 54 is a no-brainer. It would dethrone the Planet Ocean as the best dive watch, best quality luxury dive watch for a smaller wrist. But in my opinion, I think the Planet Ocean remains. So I feel like I took some time to land that plane, as the saying goes, but this feels really good. Now, I'm really enjoying my time with the Black Bay 58 Bronze. This was a recent purchase. It was unexpected. I had already written this watch off, because I've had many experiences with the Black Bay 58. I've tried to love it, but I've always had an issue with the bracelet clasp, and on strap, it wasn't ideal either on strap. So now that I'm actually enjoying my time with a Black Bay 58, I feel like this might be the one I want to keep. Now, in an ideal world, I'd keep all of them. But I recently kind of reset the collection. I want to start from scratch. So just so you guys know, this is more subjective than it already was. I'm kind of going into my personal collection now. The Planet Ocean, I feel like it is fairly expensive, and I can get a good chunk of my money back on it if I were to sell it. And if I were to keep one of these, I think I can possibly get a Cartier Santos, and maybe with putting a little bit of money in. And I feel like I would like to do that. But my dilemma here lies in the fact, or in the problem, where would I keep the Black Bay 58 Bronze, which I enjoy, at least in this moment. I enjoy this far more than the Black Bay 54, or do I sell the Black Bay 54 and the Planet Ocean, or do I go ahead and sell the Black Bay 58 Bronze and the Planet Ocean, put it towards the Cartier Santos, or do I go with the watch that I like the most, and keep the Planet? I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't think I like this the most. I think they're really close in terms of personal affection. So I'm not going to say I like this the most, but the one that I think is the best wearing on my wrist, I think that's accurate. I think this wears the best on my wrist. So if I were to take those factors into account, should I just keep the Planet Ocean and just save up for a Cartier Santos and get rid of the Black Bays? That's a really hard decision that I'm wrestling with. I want to go ahead and I want to keep one of the Black Bays. I am really smitten. I only got this last week, so I'm really smitten with this. I want to keep it, and I want to make it work in my collection, especially because I've been having a blast wearing it. Black Bay 54 I've had for about a month, and I am enjoying it. But with the entrance of the Black Bay 58 Bronze, one of the Black Bay 58s that actually fits on my wrist, this is causing me some unrest with the Black Bay 54. And you saw it on my wrist, right? I know it's hard to articulate, but the seeing is believing. The Black Bay 54, it wears great. Top down shot, looks good. Sorry, let me adjust that. Looks good. When you look at it from the side, there is a significant gap, because the case is just deadpan straight. Is that a saying? It is just dead flat. And so it's not visually appealing on those rare instances where I see it in that angle. So I don't think I've solved anything in this little therapy session of mine. I'm still a little stuck on what I should do. I feel like the Planet Ocean is going to be a casualty. I did reset the collection, and the intention was to sell the Planet Ocean as well. So I think that might happen anyway. But maybe I should just keep the Planet Ocean and remove the Black Bays from the collection and save up for the Cartier Santos. Or I just go into like a paralysis mode, analysis paralysis, and keep all of them. And save up, I guess, for an extended period of time and get the Santos. But then that was not the plan. The plan wasn't to have 3 very similar dive watches in the collection. The plan was to have a fairly rounded out collection. But I think I need to stew on those thoughts for some time. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this comparison video. I hope it was useful in some way. Let me know what you think. I am taking advice, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. Remember, you're infinitely valuable, and a great price has been paid for you, and you are precious and you're worth it. I do hope you know that. Take care, everyone. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye.